Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and welcome to another edition of Text with Ron Nutter. Easy for you to say. This time, we're continuing in the series with the Alexa or Amazon, whatever you want to call it, Flex. Now, this time, we're going to be dealing with the motion sensor module. Now, this one's a little different, and I had a little bit of a learning hurdle when I first got to it, and this is some things that I'm going to try to help you avoid some of the challenges that I did when this first got up and running. So we're going to take it one step at a time. Now, as always, we've got the Amazon or the Alexa Flex already set up, ready to go. And it's actually, let me set the module off to the side here. And we'll go computer time.
It's 7:15 p.m.
Okay.
And happy popcorn day.
I could do without the greetings, but such is life. Now, you're wondering where I've got the mic there, and this is where we're gonna help you hear it a little bit better than you, depending on the mic that I've got over my ear. Also, the box is not just for looks. In working with this motion sensor is a little on the sensitive side, so for you to really see kind of what it can do, we're going to have to cover it up. Otherwise, the sensor will never clear because it's always going to see some motion between my moving and working with the video switcher. So let's go ahead and get started. And just as a reminder, now this is something that is not intended for use as an alarm system, although from what I've seen, the sensitivity is pretty decent. But we're going to walk through a couple of things to set up just to give you an idea so you can kind of see maybe where you need to position it, easy to say 3 times, for the best results for you. So we're going to go ahead here and plug in the module, and it'll take it just a second to get recognized here.
I found first motion sensor. To set up a routine triggered by first motion sensor, go to the device detail page in the Alexa app.
Okay, so now we're going to go through, and this is where we need to go ahead and put the box over the sensor. Let me get some folding done here. We actually need to, and I'm going to move that mic away just a little bit. We're going to need to cover that sensor. Otherwise, it's never really going to settle down, and you'll see why here in just a minute. So let's shift over to my Samsung Galaxy phone, and let's go through here. We'll tap on voice, Alexa, and we will go down here and look for the studio. There we go. That says online. Okay, so it's all happy, so we don't have to worry about that. But now we're going to have to go down here, and sometimes I don't know how it's doing the sorting, but we've got to look for something called first motion sensor, and I may have already gone past it. Well, here, we'll just refresh it. There we go. This is the trick I've seen with first motion sensor. It doesn't always refresh the list right away. So if you just pull down, and that will cause a refresh. Now, normally you would go ahead and rename. We're just going to leave it because right now I have just the one motion sensor. Probably I will end up renaming this to match the name of the Exo Flex. Now, if you notice that it says no motion detective, inactive since, just a little over a minute ago, duration a few seconds. That's why we put the cover on here, because we wanted to make sure it was not going to be fighting us. Because on the Amazon support forums, I saw a lot of people having problems. It seemed like the sensor didn't want to settle down, and that's why I'm going to cover it for right now, and you'll see why here in just a moment. So we're going to create 2 routines, and we'll tap there, and we will enter a routine name. We'll call this one motion, well, if I can spell here, motion active. It's the only thing I don't like about some of these small keyboards is they can be a little bit of a challenge. Now, we will do add action, No, that's not where we wanted to go. We will go when this happens. Now, this is the part that's not really intuitive, is you will click on Smart Home. Now, again, we'll back up here just a second since I made a misstep. This is when this happens. So you will tap Smart Home. This is where then you get to pick the sensor. And we'll go when motion is detected, which is the default setting. And we will get it to, now anytime, now this is the other thing, we're going to leave this open for right now, but when you go to have this set to say acknowledge when you come home or when you're leaving in the morning, you may want to have routines only active at certain times, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. So add action. Alexa says, and we'll do customize, and this is where we can get Alexa to say motion sensor, and I don't think the caps really matter, active. And say motion sensor active. And so far in the different tests that I've done, this has been pretty decent. And we're going to choose the device that it's going to talk from. I guess you could do all of them, but I haven't tried that far. Okay, now we'll do save. Now we will do, and just to give you an idea what it should happen, we'll tap on the little plus.
Motion sensor active.
Okay, now that's what we should hear once the sensor goes active. Now we'll tap plus, routine name, motion clear. Now that's just the name. Obviously we're going to, when we get into it a little bit more, Smart Home, first motion sensor, not detected. Now by default it will go 30 minutes, and we're just, what I'm trying to do is get you set up to a point that you can get an idea of where you may need to position this so that you can get the best results, because while the outlet you would like to use, it may not be sensing or have a clear field of view for the sensor. So that's why we're going to get a couple of routines up and running first, just to kind of help you figure out where the best place to put it is going to be. So we'll go back over here, and I will set it for 1 minute, and we'll go next, and we'll leave anytime, and Alexa says customized motion sensor clear. All right, next, and from device we will pick the studio, and we'll click save. All right, now we'll motion clear.
Motion sensor clear.
Okay, so I think you may not be hearing it real well because I got a box kind of blocking the view. Okay, so now let's go back here. Now see, it says no motion detected. So what should happen is we'll move the box.
Motion sensor active.
All right, and then of course you will get your pop-up here that says what's going on. So, and see, now we're going to keep seeing things. So now to really block the sensor, we put the cover back on, and we're going to have to wait just a little bit to have this to where the screen will clear. And in setting it for 1 minute, I've had it take upwards of 2 minutes. I think that's more of a timing situation than what you would think. So I mean, there's boxes on it right now, so we should be getting it to clear here in just a bit. And so it's at 7:23. So of course, in this day of instant gratification, we all want it now. But this is where I felt it was important to think about using these two routines first to get a sense for how sensitive the sensor may be in your situation. See, now it says no motion detected. Now it may take yet another minute to get the pop-up. Now let's see here. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay, it's not saying anything. No motion detected. And this is where sometimes there's been upwards of a minute delay. Now we see it just went to duration of minute, so we should get a message here in just a bit that says we are in the clear.
Motion sensor clear.
Okay. So now you get a sense for what's involved. So that is really pretty straightforward. Now we'll go and set up a routine just to kind of give you a sense of, well, how you can be greeted. Now what we ought to do is, while we've got that sensor blocked, we can go ahead and then disable the two other routines. So let's go here. And this is the one thing where it gets a little strange. Let me get up here to see. It sorts different all the time. So we'll do create a routine, and that's how I found to get into these. So we'll do motion clear and we'll disable it. And it's now, see, it shows up as being disabled. So motion active. Okay, so what you can have it do is we'll have a routine here, and we'll just call it Welcome Home. Next, and we will say first motion sensor and detected, and we will add action, and we will say customized. I've never tried the comma before. That should add a little bit of a delay. All right, next. Okay, now we should have that. Now we can add another action. That's to say, for example, we can do smart home. Now here's where we can add lights, and we can have the one on recliner. Next, power on, brightness 50%. That's okay. So now what will have happen is when we trigger the motion sensor, you should now see two things happen. Well, the light's in another part of the house for me, but we'll see as soon as this gets triggered, then we can go ahead and you will see it'll say it'll welcome me home, and then it'll try to turn the light on. Okay. Now, it may take just a second here, and this is where it's not instantaneous, but you realize it's got to bounce from your network out to the Amazon cloud and then back. Okay, come on here. Well, let's... Now, see, it's already gone to motion there, and has it triggered anything? And this is where it's just going to take some experimentation to figure out how the best way to get this to work is going to be. And this is just, okay, there we go. Duration a minute. It's detected motion. And it could be the stacking of the commands that you may have tried to do too much at once. Let's see if we can see. Well, there's a good reason. For some reason, both of those are disabled. Okay, well, we didn't do something right. So, okay, let's block the sensor. We'll try this one more time here. Okay, we'll do a plus. Routine name. Call that Welcome Home. Not Homer, Home. When this happens, smart home, first motion sensor, detected, add action, Alexa says, customized, welcome home. Let's try it without the comma. Maybe the comma caused it some heartburn. Okay. And then we will tell it to smart home, lights, recliner, next, power on, brightness, okay, next. And for some reason it's not letting me save it, so that would be, we may have a problem with the stacking command here. Oh, from which device? Okay, therein lies the problem. Okay, so now we will say studio. There we go, now it will save it. Okay. Should have caught that before. That's okay, there we go, and there's the welcome home routine. So that's just a case of it was telling me there was a problem, but without telling me. So now we'll go back over to the motion sensor that you can see right here. I've got the box on it, and we'll take the box away.
Welcome home, Ron.
Okay, now see it says welcome home, and it says motion detect. So it did that fairly quick. But this is where this is a, it's just learning kind of the process, and that this is where it gets you have to kind of be a little patient with it, because it's not taking you back and forth to the screens really well. And it would appear to have run. Now there should be a way to, okay, from studio. Now let's go back here and let's featured. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, that's there's, as you can see, there's a host of things that you can do. So it says no motion detected. And so I didn't have to really put that box on there anyway, but it was going to err on the side of caution.
Welcome home, Ron.
And this is where you may want to put a delay in it to not keeping it from repeatedly triggering. So you can see kind of what the deal is. It's really very straightforward. It's a little bit, when you start getting into the menus, working on things, but as you can see, there's a whole host of possibilities. But just like you saw me outline before, and let's go back into the first motion sensor. Here we go, and create a routine. Having those two ones to initially help you test where motion sensors clear and active, that will help you verify very quickly how things are working. So you can do, as you can see, all sorts of things, and I'm going to continue to work with this one. And if you have an idea that you'd like me to try, then please let me know. I'll be happy to take a look at it. Thank you to everybody who's been subscribing to the channel and liking it. We've just crossed 2,000 subs at the time I am doing this video, and I'm going to keep doing more. I'm going to try to do one on Saturday and one on Sunday, and if there's a little bit of time in the week, then look at doing some of that as well. So please appreciate if you could click the thumbs up button on this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm running a little behind on getting some of the questions that have come through answered, but I want to do what I can to take care of you. And you'll see some links here in just a moment to videos here, and you can see it was already complaining, and yeah, I mean talking, but yet I was moving well out of what I thought its field of view would be. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.